Per the State of California Executive Order N2920, this meeting is being held telephonically. All public comments were received either by email or via voicemail as noted within the agenda. Council, please mute your microphones until called upon for comment or vote. Mayor, I'm now passing the mic over to you.
Thank you, Ashley. I'll now call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Smith?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins? Councilmember Pogencord?
Here.
Councilmember Scrivener?
Here.
City Treasurer Curry?
Here.
City Clerk Marsh?
Here.
Councilmember Wiggins is absent. All other elected officials are present telephonically.
Thank you. We'll now ask for the invocation by Pastor Chris Frost of the Mountain Bible Church. Pastor Frost.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, in a world of constant change and chaos, you are an unchanging Lord. Your love and your compassion are constant, and for that we're very grateful tonight. For many, life has gotten too hectic, and many are feeling overwhelmed and burdened by the pace of life and tasks at hand. The results of this last year have been exhausting. I just pray for your health and your well-being on each council member on this call. I ask that you slow everyone's hurried and anxious thoughts down so that we can really hear from you tonight and gain your perspective. Reorient our hearts to yours, speak words of refreshment over this meeting, and give everyone eyes and ears to see what you're up to. I pray for your blessings upon this city of Tehachapi and its leaders and this meeting. And all of God's people said, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
If you'll join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll now take the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk will be considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in listed sequence with the opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. Were there any public comments regarding consent agenda items that should be removed?
There were 0 comments received by email and 0 by voicemail.
Thank you. Are there any consent agenda items the council would like removed?
Councilmember Pogencord?
None, thank you.
Councilmember Scrivener?
No, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
No, thank you.
Mayor Smith?
No, thank you. I'll now take a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I so move. I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Pogencord, a second by Councilmember Scrivener. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Pogencord?
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
Yes.
It was a 4-0 vote for approval of the consent agenda.
Yes. Thank you. Audience, oral and written communications per the State of California Executive Order N2920. Do we have any public comments?
There were 0 comments received by email and 0 by voicemail.
All right, thank you. We'll go to item number 3, appointment of Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District Board Member. Our Administrative Manager, Ashley Whitmore, will now give the report. Ashley?
Thank you, Mayor. The Tehachapi City Council will appoint one member to the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District Board, TVRPD, to fill the vacancy created by Board Member Backus's expiration of term. The appointment will fill a 4-year term, which is set to expire on February 2nd, 2025. All applicants must reside within the city limits. We did receive one application, and that again was from Wesley Backus. Unfortunately, he is unable to be on the call, but his application is provided within your agenda. And that's it for me.
Were there any public comments on this item?
There were 0 comments received by email and 0 by voicemail.
Thank you. I'll now open nominations. A second is not necessary for the position. Do we have a nomination for the board member of the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District?
I nominate Wes Backus, please. Hogan.
All right. Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, our clerk will now take a vote via roll call for the nominee. Ashley?
All right, for Wesley Backus, Councilmember Pokencord,
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies,
Yes.
Mayor Smith.
Yes.
It was a 4-0 vote to appoint Wesley Backus to the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District Board to complete a term to expire on February 2nd, 2025.
Thank you. Well, that seems a long way out, doesn't it? All right. Item number 5, disbursement and bills for RSI Petroleum.
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Smith, I need to recuse myself because I'm an employee of RSI Petroleum.
All right. We'll wait for your recusal, and the clerk will now ask for comments via roll call.
To start, there were no comments received by the public. For roll call,
Thank you.
Councilmember Pokencord,
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener,
Yes.
do you have any comments?
Oh, no,
Sorry.
I don't have any comment.
Sorry, guys.
I thought-
Mayor
When
Smith.
he said vote, I thought he said. But anyway, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll get through this, and I have no comments at this time either. I'll now ask for a motion to approve the disbursements and bills and claims, or bills for RSI Petroleum.
I'll make that motion, Mayor Smith.
I'll second.
Thank you. Clerk will now take the roll.
Councilmember Pokencord,
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener,
Now I'll vote yes.
Mayor Smith.
Yes. Thank you.
It was a 3-0 vote for approval of the disbursements and bills for RSI Petroleum with a recusal from Councilmember Davies.
Thank you. Councilmember Davies, are you back with us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Item number 8, Tehachapi Farmers Market transfer. Our assistant to the city manager, Corey Costello, will now give the report. Corey?
Thank you, Mayor Smith and council members. Good evening. This evening, we want to bring to you an opportunity to accept responsibility of the annual farmers market from Main Street Tehachapi. Probably aware, but for over 15 years, Main Street Tehachapi has hosted the farmers market in downtown. Main Street initially began as a redevelopment group for the city of Tehachapi over 20 years ago to help revitalize downtown. Upon the elimination of redevelopment assessments by then Governor Jerry Brown, Main Street has remained as a nonprofit group dedicated to assisting downtown businesses with facade and sign grants, along with special events like wine walks, Sip Sip Hooray, and the farmers market. Due to the impact of COVID-19, along with dwindling board membership and business participation, Main Street Tehachapi has voted to dissolve the organization and assign its assets to other nonprofit entities within the community with special emphasis on downtown Tehachapi. So the Main Street Farmers Market is one of the most successful events hosted by this organization, with assistance from the city of Tehachapi currently in the form of street closures, police department, and public works logistical support. And annually, this event brings thousands of visitors downtown traditionally from May through about September, to purchase produce and other goods from local Kern County vendors. So the Board of Directors of Main Street, the remaining board, has voted to turn this event back over to the City of Tehachapi, who initially started this market many years ago. With our current involvement in logistics of this event, relationship with the Kern County Department of Public Health, we believe we're the most qualified organization to successfully execute this event and continually improve its impact to our community. Market management will shift responsibility to City Hall with continued support from the Police Department and Public Works. This includes all road closure requests, Health Department permitting, vendor organization, and other needs. We're looking forward to 2021. Obviously, the impacts of COVID-19, the farmers market operated last year in kind of a limited capacity per Health Department orders. They allowed only certified farms and vendors that grew or produced their goods on site to be sold at the farmers market. While those vendors were limited compared to years past, it was a really welcome event for residents and vendors as the market was extended through the end of October. It was its longest run in history, and that allowed for more of our local farmers, especially in the apple industry, to get involved. So we hope to return to a more normal event in 2021 with food vendors and entertainment, depending on local health orders in the era of COVID-19. So we're going to plan for both with a restricted and a less restricted market as conditions allow. As a result, the city will continue to invest in downtown while promoting downtown small businesses. Any proceeds through sponsorships or vendors will be allocated to downtown specific causes, such as mural maintenance and other efforts to continue the work that Main Street has done. The fiscal impact of this, staff costs associated with the market management, along with our Public Works and Police Department support, much of which was already in place under Main Street's management due to our support for this event. Sponsorships and vendor fees will offset some of the costs of Health Department, and we'll work with former vendors of Main Street, past market managers, to ensure the most efficient operation possible, and we'll make some mid-year budget adjustments as well, so we have a line item for the Main Street Farmers Market. So we're looking forward to this opportunity, and our recommendation this evening is to accept the Farmers Market event from Main Street to Tehachapi and authorize staff to manage the event moving forward. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this time.
Thank you, Corey. Were there any public comments on this item?
There were 0 comments received by email and 0 by voicemail.
The clerk will now ask the council for comments.
Councilmember Pogencourt?
None. I just hope to see it back to normal as soon as we can. That'd be great.
Councilmember Scrivener?
I think this is a fantastic event, and I'm grateful that this partnership is in place to seamlessly transition, and I have every confidence it's going to continue to be a great event. So I'm just pleased to see this happening.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yeah, I'm excited to see it back. Hopefully we can get it back and then get a lot of people downtown, and it's always a good thing for my family, and I hope to see it come back.
Mayor Smith?
I concur with all the comments. It's just a good small town event, and it's very well received by the entire region and from other cities. So I think it represents what Tehachapi is about, and I'm glad to see that we're able to step up and continue this on. So with that, I'll now take the motion to transfer the Tehachapi Annual Farmers Market from Main Street, Tehachapi, to the City of Tehachapi.
I'll make that motion, Mayor Smith. Michael Davies.
I'll second it. Bogey.
Thank you. Clerk will now take a vote via roll call.
Councilmember Pogencourt?
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
Yes.
It was a 4-0 vote to transfer the Tehachapi Annual Farmers Market from Main Street Tehachapi to the City of Tehachapi.
Thank you. Item number 9, Fuel Storage Foundation Project. Our Development Services Director, Jay Schlosser, will now give the report.
Very good. Honorable Mayor and Council members, the first item I have for you tonight is, as you stated, the award of the Fuel Storage Foundation Project. A little bit of background for you all. Public Works has been operating with an antiquated fuel storage system And following the onset of PSPS events, or public safety power shutoff events, the city successfully applied for grant funding to purchase several additional generators. Those came in under cost, and so Public Works was able at that point to reorient the remaining funds towards the construction of an updated fuel storage system out at the wastewater treatment plant. So we've been working in engineering here with Public Works to make that a reality, and step one was to generate design plans for the foundation of a new fuel storage system, and then to bid that foundation out to the public. So the staff report you have tonight is the product of that. We opened bids for this fuel storage foundation, which is just a giant concrete slab to receive a pre-constructed dual tank that will hold both diesel and gasoline fuel. We opened the bids for that on January 12th. Those bid results are contained in the staff report. And then we reviewed the bids for responsiveness, and the low bid provided by Profit Construction Incorporated was deemed to be acceptable and responsive for a bid amount of $28,360. Again, I let you know the fiscal situation. This is within the budget that we have available under the PSPS grant program, and therefore there will be no cost to the general fund to execute this project. And therefore, our recommendation is that you award the Fuel Storage Foundation project to Profit Construction Incorporated in the amount of $28,360 and authorize the city manager to approve any necessary change orders up to a maximum of 10% of the construction cost, or $2,836. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Jay. Were there any public comments on this item?
There were 0 comments received by email and 0 by voicemail.
The clerk will now ask for council comments via roll call.
Councilmember Pokencourt?
Jay, this is just for the concrete. That's correct.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. This is just the concrete slab. It was designed, we hired a structural engineer to design it for us, since it's going to bear quite a bit of weight and obviously needs to survive an emergency situation such as an earthquake. So it is as simple as concrete. However, it's a lot of concrete. So that explains the cost.
Okay, and then how long will it be until we see the tanks come in, and how much do those run, or do we have any idea about that?
Yeah, we've actually been through the process of procuring the tanks, and I think we've actually ordered it already. Perhaps, Dawn, if you're on the phone, I don't know how much we paid for those tanks off the top of my head. Do you?
Yeah, it was around $50,000 for the tank. It's a single tank that has 2 compartments, one for diesel and one for gasoline. You approved that purchase, the council approved that purchase. I believe it was the first meeting in January, maybe the last meeting in December, I can't remember, but around that time. The lead time is around 10 to 12 weeks, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it should be here late March, early April, something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Yes, that coincides well, Councilmember Pokencourt, with the anticipated construction schedule for the foundation. So weather is going to be the single biggest difficulty in executing. Otherwise, it's a pretty clear open space, and we just got to form and pour a big slab of concrete. So.
Yeah, weather seems to be the big obstacle on all of this stuff. So, yeah, understandable. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Councilmember Scrivener? Oh, sorry.
No comment.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yeah, excuse me. I've tried to abstain, but my phone is not connecting correctly, so I need to abstain from the item because of my employment with RSI.
Thank you. Mayor Smith?
No comments. It's just good to have funds for this that we're able to spend on something for emergency preparedness. Even though Jay said we weren't going to get any more snow this year, I think we're still going to get some. So anyway, he did mention that last week, didn't he, or last meeting? Okay. I'll now take a motion to award the Fuel Storage Foundation project to Profit Construction in the amount of $28,360 and authorize city manager to approve any necessary change orders up to a maximum of 10% or construction cost of $2,836. Do I have a motion?
I so move Hogan Ford.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Pokencourt?
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
He's abstained.
Mayor Smith? Mayor Smith?
Yes.
It was a 3-0 vote to award the Fuel Storage Foundation project to Profit Construction Inc. in the amount of $28,360 and authorize the city manager to approve any necessary change orders up to a maximum of 10% of the construction cost, or $2,836, with an abstention from Councilmember Davies.
Thank you. We'll go on to item number 10, pass-through of the City of Tehachapi's Prop 68 per capita grant fund allocation to Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District. Our Development Services Director, Jay Schlosser, will now give the report. Jay?
Very good. Thank you, Mayor, Council members. The second item I have for you tonight is to authorize the pass-through the city's Proposition 68 per capita grant fund allocation to TVRPD. So in the way of background, Proposition 68 was placed on the ballot by Senate Bill 5 and approved by the voters back in 2018. It funds $185 million across the state for local park rehabilitation, creation, and improvement grants to local governments on a per capita basis, meaning that the amount of money you receive is based upon the size of your population. So in our case, we are at the bottom of that population size, and the anticipated initial allocation was $200,000 as a minimum. And again, due to our population size, we were likely from the beginning to be at the minimum. So the Natural Resources Agency Department of Park and Recreation Office of Grants and Local Services, that's quite a name. They contacted the cities, counties, and other agencies to determine how many agencies would be interested in accepting those funds and using them. And the city of Tehachapi, of course, back in May of 2019, did not want to pass up the opportunity to make an improvement here in one of our parks. And so following that, the state determined that they had a little bit more participation than they planned, and so they dropped our allocation from $200,000 to $186,000 and some change. And so as the city sat down to identify potential projects to present to you, one rose quickly to the top, with the Tehachapi Recreation Parks Department recently taking their skate park, out of commission permanently. We got together with TVRPD and discussed the possibility of a replacement skate park, which both TVRPD and the city are receiving approximately the same amount of money, about $180,000 to $190,000, and so we knew that alone neither of us could achieve the goal of a new skate park, but perhaps together we could. And since it was an actively used component of our recreation parks here in the city, and it was physically located within the city, city staff thought it was prudent and appropriate to allocate our grant funds over to TVRPD, which is allowed under the grant program. And so tonight my recommendation, if you agree that this is a worthy use of the funds, is that you adopt a resolution authorizing the city of Tehachapi to pass through $186,306 of the city of Tehachapi's per capita grant fund allocation from the California Drought, Water, Parks, Climate, Coastal Protection, and Outdoor Access for All Act of 2018. No, that's not made up. To the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District for the construction of a replacement skate park to be located at West Park. I should also note that the city attorney and I have been speaking about a potential additional minor agreement to govern the pass-through of those funds to ensure that TVRPD will use those funds for a replacement skate park. And so I would ask or add to that recommendation that you grant us the ability to execute a minor agreement to this end, in support of this resolution, for this action. So that concludes my report. I'd be more than happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Jay. We'll take comments by roll call.
Sorry, Mayor,
Ashley?
before that, we do have an email comment from the public.
Oh,
It comes
thank you.
Not a problem. It comes from Corey Torres, District Manager of the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Park District. This will be read verbatim. Good evening, Council. On behalf of our district, I want to express my appreciation to the City of Tehachapi for their interest and consideration in partnering with us. With your approval, by combining our allocations of grant funds, a much larger and more impactful project is possible that will benefit our community for years to come. Thank you. I'll now move on to council member comments. Councilmember Pogencord?
Yeah, I have one. The city of Tehachapi was given $177,952, and there was an additional $8,354, which brings it up to about $186, I believe. And then TVRPD was given an additional $12,224. Where is that money going? Or, can someone explain to me that they got a coastal protection and outdoor access grant money? That's how they got that additional money. So I'm wondering where that's going. It's $12,224.
My understanding, I'll attempt to answer that, Councilmember Pogencord. While I am not TVRPD, my understanding is that they are combining both of their allocations as well and adding it to our 186. So all four little pots of money are being added together to get us to about $375,000. It doesn't look like, I am looking at the letter that they've provided, and he does not appear to allocate that $12,000 to this event. So I may be incorrect on that. We could speak to them about it if you like. They're proposing to only use $177,952 as I see here. So if the city combines their $8,354 with the $177,952, it's $186,306, which is what the proposal is. But TVRPD is still at $177,952. So I'm just curious as where that $12,000 will go. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have that answer, as the district is free to make that choice. So, but if you guys feel like it's not appropriate that they didn't put all of their money into it, we can certainly go back and discuss that with them. It does not change my recommendation to you. Perhaps they have a minor project to rehabilitate one of their park facilities and opted to keep that $12,000 separate for a small action.
Well, they definitely need it. I mean, those kids, I can see them roaming the streets and whatnot. At least it's a centralized point for them, and I think it's a good thing. It's always been a good thing in the past. So, yeah, I'm just curious as to where that money's going.
Phil, let me add something. The agreement that I've drafted requires them to submit the whole amount of the grant funds. I didn't realize that there was a possible glitch there with the $12,000, but if they want to enter into the agreement, they'll have to commit the whole amount of grant funds.
Okay, thanks, Tom. I appreciate that, because their total would be $191,76 with the 12, so it's only about $4,000 or so off from ours, so 4 or 5. So it's comparable. And I would hope that that's where that money is going. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Scrivener?
No comments for me, thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yeah, the way I understand this is going to be above ground, just like it was before, but it's going to be made out of steel and some type of other composite material to handle the weather. And that's so, what kind of lifespan are we expecting out of this facility?
Right, that's a good question.
Yeah, good question, Councilmember Davies. The answer to that question is I would expect this to be a 15 to 20 year lifespan. You noted the construction materials that we've briefly discussed with them. I would state additionally that the city is not in the business of recreation, and so this was part of staff's, thinking behind recommending that we pass over our allocation to them, again, attempting to identify something we think would be heavily used and that would be central to the city and valuable to the population. So, I'd answer your question at 15 to 20 years.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a great program. I've seen other facilities at other areas, and it's very heavily used. And I think it gives an opportunity for our youth for someplace to go. And I really do think it's very much needed right now in our community.
Phil, let me add one other thing.
Sure,
thing.
Tom,
The $12,000 or whatever, my agreement says they're going to commit it all. Jay says that he's willing to recommend it even if they don't. I'd like the council to clarify that if they don't want to commit the full amount, if the district doesn't want to commit the full amount, that's okay. We can go ahead with the agreement.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Councilmember Smith, Mayor Smith.
Yes, is the actual features going to be placed on the current foundation slab that's there now?
Yes, that is my understanding.
Okay, so this is basically order the parts and construct the skate park. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat yourself, Mayor Smith? I missed the first part.
So this is basically the foundation's still there, the concrete. So they'll be ordering parts that will be constructed and put together to make up the skateboard park, correct?
Yes, that's right.
So any time frame, this seems like it could be done rather quickly once it's erected.
Yeah, we have not discussed that in detail, although I do have an understanding of the nature of the project, and I do have the same level of expediency being expressed to me from Corey Torres about the project. We both, again, when we sat down to discuss options for the money and the potential to combine them, we were both agreeing that the dismantling of the skate park was creating a rather urgent need in the community, and we actually have, under this program, almost the entire remainder of this year to actually put our hand up, so to speak, and ask for our money from the state. But we both agreed that we should move on this sooner rather than later, so that we could immediately begin the process of putting that money to the project. So I don't have a definitive timeline for you because, to be very clear, we're passing over the money and walking away from our right to demand it, subject, of course, to the terms of the agreement that the city attorney is preparing. And by the way, I do agree with Tom's, way of rendering that. I'll certainly talk to Corey Torres about the amount of money, but he sent us a letter. He formally said how much they would put in. I think that our agreement should match what he put in, and I think that we could even put some rough timelines into that agreement, to make sure that he's well underway with the project before our timeline elapses for the use of the money. I think that's a reasonable provision to put into the agreement. That way we know that they're going to take the money and move on it and produce the project that we're all looking for, and I'm confident that Corey Torres would agree to that. So, I hope that kind of clarifies the framework.
Jay, the agreement says that, let me just clarify that. Let me clarify that before you go off that subject. The agreement says that the city and the district will agree on the time frame before construction starts.
I'm sorry, say that again, Tom. I had a computer glitch on this end.
The agreement says that the city and the district will agree on the time frame before the construction starts.
Excellent. I think that's very reasonable.
And Mayor Smith, this is City Manager Garrett. I just spoke with Corey Torres, the General Manager of TBRPD, and he apologizes for the mistake, and he's confirming with me that the district is committed to the entire amount, which is $190,176.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Let's just go with that, which is Tom in his agreement. Okay, Tom?
Yes, that's correct. That's fine. You can just go with the agreement, the agreement as is, yeah.
Perfect. All right. I'll now take a motion to adopt a resolution and an agreement authorizing City of Tehachapi to pass through $186,306 of the City of Tehachapi's per capita grant fund allocation for the California Drought, Water, Parks, Climate Protection, and Outdoor Access for All Act of 2018 to the Tehachapi Valley Recreation Parks District for the construction of the replacement skate park to be located at West Park, subject to city manager and city attorney approval. Have a motion?
Mayor Smith, I'll make that motion as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Kevin? All right, the clerk will now take a roll call vote. Ashley, thank you.
Councilmember Pogencourt?
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
Yes.
It was a 4-0 vote to adopt a resolution and an agreement authorizing the City of Tehachapi to pass through $186,306 of the City of Tehachapi's per capita grant fund allocation from the California Drought, Water, Parks, Climate, Coastal Protection, and Outdoor Access for All Act of 2018 to the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District for the construction of a replacement skate park to be located at West Park, subject to city manager and city attorney approval, including a minor agreement in support of the resolution.
Thank you. Can't wait for this to be underway here. Thank you, everyone. All right, item number 11, functional classification map update. Our Development Services Director, Jay Schlosser, will now give that report as well. Jay?
Thank you, Mayor Smith and council members. The last item that I have for you tonight is the update to our functional classification map update. If you're not aware of what a functional classification map is, Caltrans maintains a statewide inventory of roadway networks that are captured in this functional classification map. And there are categories on that map defining the intensity of relative roadways. So, from a principal road to a major collector to a local road, or to even something less than a local road like there's nothing defined less than a local road, but even dirt roads are contained on these maps as local roads from time to time. And Caltrans utilizes this map to determine a number of things, one of which is which roadways can receive federal and state grant funds for rehabilitation or improvement. And so it's fairly important for us to maintain this map in an updated manner. I think the last time we updated this was about 3 years ago. Again, we utilize this map to enable us to have the greatest range of flexibility for where we apply federal and state monies. We have been working on an update to that. We actually have, we need to make sure we square this up with the Pinion Street project, which is what's motivating us to work on this. But we went ahead and made several additional changes to the map as long as we were going through the process. So if you go to the last page of the staff report, you'll see a hand-drawn, a map. It's the functional classification map, and then we highlighted the roads that are affected by this latest modification. So again, as roads become more intensely used, and that runs the entire gamut from a road that was nothing into becoming a dirt road is an intensification of its use. And similarly, in the case of Pinion, a dirt road becoming a paved road will intensify that use as well. We need to make sure that this map aligns with that activity. So it's a pretty paperwork-oriented item. We have concurrence already from the Kern Council of Governments for this update. And so now we got to prepare a package of information, including a resolution from the council, to complete that process. And so my recommendation is that you approve the proposed modifications to the functional classification map, subject to approval of Caltrans, and adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Tehachapi approving the submittal of a functional classification change for local streets and roads to the State of California Department of Transportation. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Jay. Were there any public comments on this item?
There were 0 comments received by email and 0 by voicemail.
Council member comments via roll call?
Councilmember Pogencourt?
I'm delighted that the Pinion Street project will be the first to be completed due to the fact that the high school kids have used it as a speedway, and they go flying through there, and it's unpaved and unsafe, and it dumps out over there by Tompkins. So I think it's a great project. Thank you.
Councilmember Scrivener?
No comments, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
No comments tonight.
Mayor Smith?
Just on the, are these streets just added, the ones that have been changed, or this is the totality of all the streets on the list?
No, yeah, so if you're referring, Mayor Smith, to the spreadsheet that is page 48 of the PDF, what you see there is you need to look at the from and to columns of the map. There are the columns kind of to the right side highlighted in yellow. If you see a number change from to what is represented there is there's an existing road, and we're moving it up the functional classification chart, which is depicted there right above those two columns. And if we're not, if you don't see a number change, so in the case of Pinion, it's staying a 5, it is a Class 5 and is staying a Class 5, what is captured on this chart is a change in the boundaries of that roadway. In the case, for instance, of Pinion, it did not, there was a disconnect from Pinion flowing all the way through to Denison Road. And so with this functional classification map update, we're gonna show them that it runs all the way from Contrada, which is over in Alta Estates at the far west end, all the way to Denison on the right-hand side. And that's what's causing this to be sort of an urgent item for us. And we discovered this little item when going through the Pinion Street project, and Caltrans is working with us on the timeline, but we got to get this into them. So I hope that clarifies how that numbering system works.
Yes, my question was, there's other streets that have these same classifications, but these are the ones that have the changes, correct?
That's correct. I'm sorry. I gave you a long explanation for a simple answer. Yes, the items contained in the spreadsheet are the ones that are changing. We are not obligated to relist all of the city's roads each time.
Okay, that's what I meant. All right, thank you very much. So that's my comments, and then I'll now take a motion to approve the proposed modifications to the functional classification map, subject to approval by Caltrans, and adopt a resolution approving the submittal of the functional classification change for local streets and roads to the State of California Department of Transportation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion as presented, Mayor Smith.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second Pogencourt.
We'll now take a roll call vote.
Councilmember Pogencourt?
Yes.
Councilmember Scrivener?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davies?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
Yes.
It is a 4-0 vote to approve the proposed modifications to the functional classification map, subject to the approval of Caltrans, and adopt a resolution approving the submittal of a functional classification change for local streets and roads to the State of California Department of Transportation.
Thank you. And thanks, Jay and staff, for finding this and making sure we're on top of it, because this is money that we get for these arterials, such as that one that Joan had mentioned, especially on Pinion. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor
Greg?
Smith. A couple items for you this evening. Thank you for your time. First off, I'd like to congratulate Hannah Chung and the City of Tehachapi's Finance Department. We've once again been awarded the Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, as we refer to it sometimes, for an award for budget presentations for the fiscal year 2020. So as you know, our budget is a guiding document. It's a policy document. It's a financial plan for all of our operations. And Hannah and her amazing team have put together, once again, an amazing budget that is clear to read, and we'll be putting out a press release in the next day or so about that. But I want to congratulate Hannah and thank everybody for their support. Everything starts with money, as you know, and a budget is super important as we manage our city. The second thing I'd like to say is congratulations to Ty Curry. Ty is one of our Public Works employees. He works in the Water and Wastewater Department, and he has achieved and passed his Wastewater 1 certificate training. So there's been a lot of on-the-job training, but also state testing. And so he is now a certified Wastewater 1 employee for the city of Tehachapi. And as you know, training and education is a big deal, and it means a lot as we operate all of our facilities, and we want to congratulate Ty Curry for his hard work that he's put in for that. The third thing I'd like to talk about is a big thank you to Adventist Health Tehachapi Valley for their drive-through vaccination clinic this past Saturday. Josh Pierce and his team at Adventist Health vaccinated somewhat near 400, maybe 400 citizens in our community. So that obviously is another big deal. It's a very positive thing. Tehachapi Police Department, Kern County Fire Departments, Dining Springs CERT, the BC Bakersfield College Nursing Program all assisted in that project. It was basically from morning until the sun went down, and it went extremely smooth, very well organized, very well planned, and I couldn't be happier with the results of Josh's efforts and all the employees and volunteers that assisted that project. And then also the Chamber of Commerce announced recently their 2021 Community Awards. And Citizen of the Year, it's two people this year, Milo and Layla Lujan, for their Soup for the Soul program, two young adults that care deeply about our community, and so they've been named Citizens of the Year. Small Business of the Year goes to Audrey Post, Lydia Cheney, and Eric Horn out of South Street Digital. Obviously, those three names you've heard a lot. They're very engaged in our community in a super positive way, so we'd like to say congratulations to Audrey, Lydia, and Eric at South Street Digital. And then Large Business was won by Adventist Health Tehachapi Valley. So receiving their award was Dixit Bhakta, Director of Pharmacy, Alita Lorenz, Director of Nursing and Education, Misty Cantrell, Patient Care Executive, Josh Pierce, the Manager of Training and Development, and our one and only Christina Scrivener, our council member. She's the Director of Philanthropy at Adventist Tehachapi Health. So all three of those awards, Citizen of the Year, Small Business, and Large Business, amazing organizations led by amazing people. So I want to congratulate the Chamber for recognizing all of those different people and their organizations. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Kudos to everyone there. Yes.
Yeah.
Council member reports. Council member Pokencourt.
Just kudos to all those people and congratulations. That's wonderful that we have all that. And I'm very proud of everybody and proud of our city. Also, I just want to say I've noticed a lot of revamping, remodeling, uplifting reconstruction on E&F Street and on Maple Street. And it just perks our little city up, makes it look more beautiful than it is. That's it.
Thank you, Joni. Councilmember Scrivener, Christina.
Oh, thank you. Just want to thank Greg for his kind comments. This has been a very challenging year for so many, and I could not be more proud to be a part of a team that has really been on the front lines of this pandemic, and just witnessing the courage and stamina of our team has been pretty awe-inspiring and humbling. And I think it's not lost on any of us that it is a blessing to have the hospital, newly built and prepared to take care of us in a time of crisis. So just really a blessing, the timing of all of this in having the hospital and the resources we needed. And Greg is correct. It was 400 people on Saturday, bringing our total vaccinations to our community members up over 1,200. So Josh Pierce, Dixit Bhakta, indeed deserve the credit for a fantastic job well done. And I just am grateful to those in the community that are concerned about getting their vaccines. If they are in tier, they should definitely reach out to get on the list. And as we are getting allocations for the vaccine, we are administering them as quickly as we can. So I know there's a lot of anxiety about folks getting that vaccine so they can move about safely in the community and in their lives. Just be assured that we have the resources and the systems to really continue to roll this vaccine clinic out, just working with all of the different entities that are also doing the same and trying to be just good team players. As those vaccines get to us, we are getting them out. So I know it's on a lot of people's hearts and minds about getting vaccinated, and just wanted to put that out there that we are really proud of the effort. We know we need to do more, and we are as we are able to. So it's definitely a challenging situation with lots of moving parts, but the team has been amazing, and I share Greg's admiration for the work they're doing.
Thank you, Christina, and congratulations for everything that you guys have done over the year. I do have a question. I signed up by phone and online. How much of a backlog do they have, and how soon do they normally get back to you for the vaccinations?
So that's a great question, Mayor Smith. Like you, others have both left a phone voicemail and an online registration. So we can't be sure of the exact number, because in your case that could initially reflect as 2 inquiries. But I believe we were last week somewhere around 2,800 folks that were waiting for calls back, and I think we are closer to 5,000 at this point. I know that's a terribly daunting number, but if we are able to continue to ramp up our efforts as we have this weekend by doing 400 where we did 200 the weekend prior, and continuing to lean into 6 and 7 days a week, we're hopeful that as soon as we can get the vaccines, we are prepared to administer them as quickly as possible. The issue really is a matter of not having control of or a long-term understanding of how that those vaccines are going to be allocated to us. So to answer your question, you should get a call back within a couple of weeks of leaving your message or registering online if you are in tier. And so I'm sorry that it's taking that long, but again, we can't call and schedule an appointment if we haven't identified that we're going to have a vaccine on campus to administer.
Absolutely. And I'll let other people know that have asked about that, the same thing. So if you can continue on with the way you're doing, in another 10 weeks, we could have all of those with that backlog done. So congratulations.
Precisely.
And
my hope is that,
yes.
Thank you. I appreciate your grace, and I appreciate your helping to be an ambassador for that communication, because I think a lot of folks are just, as we all have been, operating in an abundance of just uncertainty, and that doesn't feel good. But we are really proud of the effort and the process we've laid out, and we're just going to continue to we're ready to ramp up. So when we get those on our campus, we are getting them out there into people's arms, and we'll keep doing that.
Thank you so much. All right. Any other questions for Christina from the council?
No, thank you for
Okay.
the clarification, because I just turned my registration in today, so I was wondering how long I would have to wait. So I appreciate the answer.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you both. Mayor Pro Tem Davies, Michael?
I just want to just thank everybody for what they've done, and everybody's comments tonight so far are very positive. Everything that we're doing, just thankful to be a part of everything that's going on right now. I'm very proud. That's all I have, Mayor Smith.
We'll take all of that. Thank you, Michael. All right, then. I don't have anything tonight. I just echo the accolades for our finance department, Hannah, and all your folks there that continue to amaze us. We're very fortunate to have a department that we have that keeps our finances in order. You can't have a city without you, and we can't have a city without folks like Ty. Congratulations to him with his, it'll be a promotion, I'm sure. And thanks to Christina. So everyone, our blessings are on us, right? So with that,
Thank you for your kind comments.
You're welcome, Anna. And pass them along to everyone.
Yeah, you're a kind lady.
Thank you.
All right, then. We'll now adjourn to closed session. And if you have any questions regarding the outcome of the closed session, please contact Ashley Whitmore at 661-822-22.